I do not own the rights to this music. I do not own the rights to it. I just love it. Okay. I'm trying to get started. Give me a little bit. I'm trying to line this stuff up. Y'all can come on in. Y'all know y'all will come in soon. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna pop up. I'm gonna pop up. Give me a second. Hi to everyone that come in. Come in. Then y'all hit that like button for me. It's just a tap. Please just tap the button. Just tap it a little bit. Whoever come in, just tap it. We got to learn y'all how to work y'all little fingers. Just tap the little button. You know y'all gonna watch me. You don't know why you won't tap. Tap me just because you don't like me. Just tap. Hold on, give me a second. Got a lot going on. Yeah. Listen, I like whipped cream. So y'all gonna see me squirt some. I I got to read first, and then I'm going into the message. I'm gonna give scriptures first so y'all can understand what I mean when I say the funniest people on earth is the souls that is in their narcissism version, meaning you still in your natural toxic version. You have not converted over into the better version of yourself. When you're still in your toxic and unhealthy and uncircumcised ways, you're gonna always have anger issues, attitudes. Your mind is always going to be all over the place. You're going to always be off beat. You're going to always be unstable. Now, some traits may stay with you. Like me, like Tom and for me is not good with me. Me and Tom, we don't get along, but I get along with Tom because I have to move along with it, regardless if I want to stop or not. Tom is not going to stop for me, you, or nobody else. It's just designed. That's how the Heavenly Father designed it. Tom going to continuously go move on, regardless if we move on with it or not. Now, I hope I ain't got my shirt on backwards, but if I do, y'all, oh well, we working backwards tonight. Because that's how the funniest people on earth, they're still in their old versions of themselves and ain't trying to get into a new version of themselves. But anyways, um, I got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm gonna go in some sensitive topics. It's not sensitive to me because all of these events that I tell y'all about, all these fables, all these things I'm talking about has been done to me. I never talk about nothing that I never experienced, because if I just got knowledge on it, it's not going to do me no good. I just understand it by, listening to it or reading it, but experience is the best teacher, regardless if you don't want to feel that or not. Now we all had to convert. Nobody can say, well, I'm a good person. None of us. None of us. We all are filthy rags, have to be converted into being the best versions of ourselves, and meaning getting into your spiritual side. And I'm going to read something, then I'm going to go into the things that I never talk about my second relationship, but tonight I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to let you know some things about what happened to me and the funniest people on earth that's still toxic and don't want to heal with Jesus the Christ, Yahusha, Hamashiach. They don't want to heal with Jesus. They rather go to therapy but not get deliverance, spiritually delivered, because it ain't nothing but unclean spirits still attached. You're not breaking nothing. You're just talking about it. So with therapy, all you can do is just sit in a chair. Well, we're gonna talk about such and such today. Okay, okay, okay. You're gonna just tell them what you know. Manipulators, master manipulators. Toxic people are master manipulators. They do the same thing to different people. They move the same way, but to different people. Like I tell everybody, that old supply is just the convenient. The new supply is just to make the old supply mad until they get tired of the new supply and make the old supply, make the new supply old. Then they're going to start having them in a love triangle. Y'all call it triangulation. They in a love triangle. Everybody is just connected to one person, but that one person got multiple people that is connected spiritually. They can't see it, but they can sure feel it. That's why you see a lot of women beefing with each other over a man, one man. It's like many women is hooked to this one man that has toxic traits. Their narcissistic rate is through the roof. They 10 stars with that. And when you don't understand, you understand, but you don't understand, like, why am I still stuck in this? Why am I still going through this? Why am I still feeling bad? Why am I still feeling dirty? Why I'm still feeling depressed? Why I'm still weeping? Why I'm still, blaming, projecting? The narc normally give you, transfer their spirit to you, and you nurture them, your spirit. You feeding them your spirit, and they are giving you, handing you over their spirit. So when you feel like you can't breathe some days, you can't think straight some days, you can't get a break some days, you thinking about the person too much, then you let them back in when they come. It's because you are connected spiritually to the dark side, not the light side, the dark side. The light side is going to make you change that attitude, going to make you change the way you feel about that toxic person, going to make you power up on that toxic person. But a lot of people ain't there yet. But I'm going to help you get there. I love the funnies. They are the funnies. I laugh a lot about them because I've been through a lot with dysfunctional people. I was dysfunctional myself, but I knew how to fight back. That's why I am very blessed that I have those traits, because I pull them out whenever they need to be pulled out. But I try not to get into that side of myself, because that side of myself is ugly. I don't like to feel ugly, and I don't like to hurt people either. But some people are like, they're narcissistic. Their narcissistic rate is through the roof. So sometimes you got to handle them with fire. You know what I'm saying? You got to throw them darts. I'm listening to my music too, y'all. I'm on my playlist of last year, and I had to be rewinded. It's beautiful. But I'm gonna go into the word. I'm gonna give y'all scriptures first, and then we're gonna talk about some stuff. It's very exciting. I'm tickled about it tonight. I'm tickled about it every night though. Matthew 4:19. And this is chosen ones. This is for the chosen ones. That's why it's hard for people to understand us, because we can master the manipulators. We can master the storytellers. We can master the Pinocchios. You know what a Pinocchio is? A Pinocchio is a liar. We can master, now I know the names of these actions of unclean spirits. We can master the projection. We can master the gaslighting. We can master what else it is? What else? Future faking. We can master future frozen, mean in the work area. We can master dysfunctional families. We master all of that. We were born to master this stuff. We didn't understand it at first because we didn't have no idea it was planned this way. When Heavenly Father placed us in our father, and our fathers placed us in our mothers, it was all a plan. We on earth for school. Spiritually, we have to be taught the spiritual side. And can't therapy teach you the spiritual side? I don't care what your psychologist diagnosed you with. Psychologists cannot deliver you from these unclean spirits. Psychology can talk about dysfunctional families. The psychology can talk about you being toxic. The therapist can tell you something you need to do, but spiritually, you need Jesus. Just point blank, period. I never went through therapy talking about my childhood. I never went to therapy to get away from my toxic relationships. I never went to therapy to handle my children and their generational passed down demonic demons, as well as all of us. Not a one can say they ain't never been toxic, or not a one can say that they came up in a beautiful, beautiful home. Not a one of us. One thing I know about dysfunctional families, they hide a lot of secrets. They try to hide their children doing, negative things in the world. And it don't matter what color you are, because I done been around all the colors, and I done been inside the colors. I've been, and what I mean by colors, I'm talking about this flesh suit. That, we got the peach, and we got the brown, and we got the dark brown, and we got the tan, and we got, it's all colors out here. So I done been around all the colors almost. Where I worked at in Tar Heel, North Carolina, Smithfield, I was a union steward, and I dealt with Salvadors, Honduras, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Haitians. You know, I had to learn how to speak a little Creole, and I've been around some stuff. So when it comes to the meat jacket, I am not with it. I'm not with that. That is just part of Satan's plan to keep people upset and angry with each other, pointing fingers, lying, projecting. It's just a lot going on in this world that nobody is really taking their time to meditate and understand what Satan got going on. The prince of the air. He keeping the frequency very low on earth because there's so many humans or souls y'all bowing to the easy version of yourselves. Nobody want to actually put in the hard work. So I'm gonna read you. I'm telling you what chosen ones is about. A lot of people, they think that chosen ones is people that get a lot of money, celebrities and all that. No, that's just money. You can read in the word about the rich man. Verily, verily, the rich man will make it into heaven. Can a camel go through an eye of a needle? No, a camel can't. So 9 times out of 10, when a man is rich, he's not going. His ego is through the roof, or a woman's ego is through the roof. And then now you see how people are falling. That is so rich. They use their fame, their titles to get through, and that's where a lot of humanity has fallen short at, because Satan offering a whole lot of materialistic vanity of vanities to everybody, and people that came up starving for materialistic things came up starving because their families struggled. They didn't have the money that certain people have. They didn't have clothing like certain people had coming up as children. You missed and hit a lot of things. I did, but I'm not greedy over no money, and I'm certainly not greedy over no materialistic stuff. Now, I like good stuff, don't get it twisted, but I'm not crazy over it where it's going to become part of me, where it's going to make me build this imaginary demon. And then this demon got me riding around here greedy and hungry, selling my spirit over to evil. We ain't having it. Not on my watch. But I tell a lot of people about the funnies. I call people that is still in their old version of themselves, I call them the funnies. Why? It's because they do a lot of comical things. Satan is really comical. If you really understand how he moved and the way he moved, and he do the same thing over and over and over and over again, the person just gets stronger because the person can hold down many vulnerable people. You got to understand, when toxic people aim they aim at people that is on a low frequency. They can't deal with strong people. Strong people is a challenge for them. Strong people is a hindrance for them. See, strong people make them realize their reality. So when you make a narc try to realize their reality, they don't want nothing to do with you. They envy you. They jealous of you. They obsess with you. So they get real crazy on you. You get what I'm saying? But if you're afraid of them, then you're falling right into the funny's hands. And I say the funnies because the sponsor of this foolishness is Satan and them unclean spirits, them one third fallen angels that he manipulated and and messed their mind up. Now he's doing the same thing to humanity. He's having a field day with humanity because nobody want to get into the best version of their self. Nobody want to put in the hard work. Everybody is wore out due to these dark spirits that you can't see, and you're not trying to read to understand what's going on with you. Y'all rather go and talk to therapy and get diagnosed by someone that have to go to Christ as well. Because if you ain't confessing and your knees ain't bowing on this earth, oh, when you cross over, and we all know we gotta die. We all see death every day. We all lost loved ones. We all experience some type of loss. You already know death is for all of us. So either you gonna bow now or bow later. I prefer you to bow now. I prefer you to confess that Jesus is Lord. I prefer you to go ahead and do that. If you allow Satan to stop you from that foolishness, then that's on you. I thank God. I thank Heavenly Father. I thank Yahweh that He came to me and he introduced me to the spiritual realm. I'm thankful for that. I am so grateful that man did not introduce me to Christ, because you'll never get to Christ if man got to introduce you. You can see the churches for yourself. The churches are so full of unclean spirits, and people are so vulnerable because when you hear people say God, you're thinking that these people are really talking about God in heaven, but majority of the time they're talking about God on earth. The church is watered down. All the pastors, I don't care who your pastor is. You need to check your pastor report card, because a lot of these pastors is only wanting to live the luxury life, celebrity. Pastor don't supposed to be writing no books. Not no pastor. Pastor, what you doing? Pastor's part of the world. Pastor supposed to be reading from one book, that's the holy word. They don't supposed to have no books, because only thing they're doing out of the holy word is taking what they read out of the word and turn it into a book where people don't acknowledge, because they know a lot of people don't read the word of God. I didn't. That's how they was getting me, because I was like y'all before myself. I'm like, but I seen a lot of evil out of them, and I just say, I don't want the church. The church is a trap house. You can get sex in the church. You can get drugs in the church. You can get gossiping in the church. You can get money in it. Well, you got to give money in the church. You can go and get a little food when they had their food banks. All this stuff is a write-off for the church. The church know it. I know it. But I don't play with God, so I don't play with the church. I don't even mess with the church. These celebrity pastors, I don't do them. They're fakes, all of them. They need to. That's why the Heavenly Father getting these chosen ones right, so we can get this stuff on the road. Because a lot of y'all crying over the narc abuse, and it's only they are under a stronghold called evil. That's all. They ain't got no self-control. They don't have no control over their own souls at that present time. Now, can they change? Yes, they can. We all can. We all. That's what Christ died for a change. Christ is what changes you, not therapy. Therapy is for a lot of people that go in the military. Actually, therapy is for people that been in the military, because those are broken children that went in the military. And then what they do, they give them alcohol. They don't even have to pay for their taxes. They go on post and do alcohol. Alcohol is a liquid drug. I used to drink. My ex was military. He drank like like he was drinking water out the faucet. Alcohol is a liquid drug. Alcohol will do some damage to your mind, especially when you're already damaged. It's just like Satan getting drunk through you, basically. Satan getting high through you. Satan using these cuss words and these wrong words through you. Satan is murdering humanity through you. I mean, he using souls to get his job done. So that's why we beating up each other. That's why we pointing the finger at each other. That's why we lies on each other. That's why we abuse each other. That's why, we drink that liquid drug. Alcohol is a liquid drug. It's just in a liquid form. Alcohol got a bad effect on the brain, on the liver, on the breath, on your bloodstream. They talk about, you'll hear a lot of people, I don't like weed. Weed, and they're smoking that weed. You know why they say that? I'm a witness to it. When you smoke it, gum it, whatever, it blocks evil. They can't evil person can't get inside of when you smoke. Now, I'm not preferring you to smoke because it'll mess with your lungs. Cigars is more high tolerance of cancer than a cigarette. So cigars hold more. That little strip that's in it holds a lot to bust your cancer cells up. Cigars is the worstest ones, but cigarettes, a lot. You got to smoke a lot of them. But you can smoke cigarettes, you can drink, but they have a big problem with weed. You know why? Evil people can't stand weed. Weed blocks you. Weed calms your nerve down. Weed make you forget who they are. You can't focus. You in dementia stage. Huh? Who are you? You ain't calming, I know. You be in your own world, down, metal. I know I've been through some hard stuff. And when I started in 2019, I was like, whoa. My son said, Mom, if you want to get your mind right, I know you don't like drugs. He said, but that drug is better than a depression pill. I tried it. It was. They would call on me, what? I laugh, I joke, and I was a laughing person anyway. Evil people don't like when you smoke weed. They can't stand it because weed will take you away from the world. It'll take you away from your problems. Just like you go to therapy, they'll diagnose you with all these pills. You got to take depression pills, anxiety, whatever, this and that. You get them pills popping, then guess what? Now you're popping pills. Pills is pills. Pills is pills, regardless. If you will take a pill from a therapist and be a guinea pig, you can go get you a gummy. That's just the way I see it. But evil people don't like when you got marijuana or whatever y'all call that little plant. Now that plant is the awfulest plant. No, that plant is way more milder than that alcohol. Put enough alcohol in you. You get ready to act up. I know I used to drink. I used to fuss, fight, cut, and everything under the influence of alcohol. Driving on the highway, and thank God I never got pulled over for a DUI, but one day I did. Not me getting pulled over, me and my ex was coming from, we had just got back together, and we love football games, and I love football. So we went to the stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Panther Stadium. The I think it was the Giants or the Patriots. One of them, the Patriots was playing. And I was like, yeah, let's go. We're going to the football stadium. I love football, like I said. So we get there. I already been to North Carolina with my uncle because he lived in Ambermar, North Carolina. So that's right there, like 5 minutes from Charlotte. So I had already been up there, and I already knew how they was rolling when me and him was split up. I'll go see my uncle. But we went that particular night, and I was like, listen, you can't drink on this highway. Don't be drinking too much because they do roadblocks, which they do checkpoints. They stop the cars and they check and see if you got license, and they check and see if you got insurance. That's what North Carolina do. They do checkpoints. So it was late. We left like at the end, not all the way at the end at the fourth quarter, but we left almost at the fourth quarter, was almost over. So we got in, he was driving, drinking and driving. I was like, bro, you gotta slow down. They do checkpoints. He should have known they was gonna do a checkpoint anyway. All those people coming from the stadium, that's ticket time for the community. He just brought that car for me. He had just brought me a car, and we got riding, and I had to go to the bathroom. My whole bell system just went down. I mean, it was just shot. I had to go to the bathroom. I was like, man, you got to pull over. You got to go to the store. And I stayed in there, and he in the car just to sip and sip. When I come back out, I was like, bro, you cannot ride with that open cup. I'm telling you, I got this. I got this. Check it now. This how toxic people do you. That man was crazy. I laughed at him. So we got to the got riding, and we was in a line. We stopped. I said, checkpoint in my head. Okay, checkpoint. He started drinking. Then he said, what you think going on? I said, we going through a checkpoint. Now, mind you, he had his glass. He didn't believe it. When we pulled up, he was like, oh my goodness. So I was like, give me the glass. So I dumped the liquor in the side of the car. I said, we'll clean it later. Get through the checkpoint. They, they come over there to him, and he was singing. His liquor was very fresh on his breath, and I'm looking like, mm-hmm. So they told him to pull over. So they didn't do a sobriety test to make him, that test where they go like this and make you walk and do this and do that. They straight blowed him. You can smell it, right? I was like, he finna go to jail. Now, mind you, he looking at me. They turned him around. He looking at me like, oh my goodness, you should see the face like a little boy in trouble. He was looking at me like they taking me to jail. I'm like, okay, on you. Now I'm telling you how narcs are. Them people something different. They scare the cats. They are very terrified. They are scared when it's time to get in trouble. I'm telling you. So they put him in handcuffs, put him back in the car. This dude told the officer, say, blow her too, because she been drinking too. He wanted me to go to jail too, because he know I'll leave him. I don't play no games. So the man come over to the car. He said he blew a point something. It was high, high. I was like, mm-hmm. He said, but ma'am, you have to blow too. I said, blow for what? He said, you've been drinking. I said, I just had a sip at the stadium, but it ain't that high. He was like, well, can you blow? I was like, sure. So I blow. It was a zero point 0.1. It was very low. He was like, oh, you can go ahead and drive. I was like, this dude trying to get me in trouble. He was like, I ain't getting in it, ma'am. So I went to Uncle House. And I told my uncle, I said, we got to go to the police station because they locked them up. So he back there with all the people with the jerseys on, the Panthers and the Patriots. So we stayed there for a long time. So the bond was extreme. So I was like, give me, I had to get $50 from my uncle. I was like, can you give me $50 more to get this man out, and I'll mail it back to you when I get home? Because he had everything in his wallet or whatever. And then I'm like, where's the money at? I said, we needed $50 more. So my uncle gave it to me. I gave it back, cash app it back to him. I think I wired it to him at that time. I didn't have cash app. So when he got in the car, he was laid back like this. They be doing the most. So when he got in the car, oh, he wanted to be bad. I said, do you want to go back in the police station? Now, you wasn't bad when you was back there. You was a 5-year-old kid back there. So he got in the car, and me, I just drove the whole way. He slept the whole way. So I'm over him. I'm like, yeah, you a little done right now. I am a fisher of men. I am bait for narcs. I was born to be this way. And that's something I'm gonna read to y'all in a few. So we get there, get to the house. Oh, he talking about it. Oh, he bad now. See, that's how they do. Once they get out of something, when they get into something, they scared out of their wits. So we had to go a whole year to Charlotte, North Carolina, pay for a lawyer. He had to pay $100 to get his license back. We had to go a whole year. Every first of the month, we had to show up in court for roll call, and they see, what's going to become of this. I had got aiding and abetting because I was with him. That's what they charged me with, aiding and abetting, because I was with him and I knew that he was drinking and it was my car. So I'm like, man, listen, I can't make that grown man stop drinking. I tried to tell him not to do it, but who am I? I ain't his mama. So the lawyer that my uncle got, he got it clear. We had to do a whole year of going back and forth from Charlotte to Lumberton. So they got up, he got off. I got off, which I shouldn't even been on, but I got off. By then I'm downhill now, and I'm like, I shouldn't have I should have never took you back. But right now he not gonna leave because he was real clingy. So check him. Time go by, time go by. I said, I can't do it with you no more. I couldn't do it with him no more because his drinking was extreme. Like, drink a gallon a day. This is real talk. He would drink a half a gallon of liquor a day. And I was like, that's a lot for that one little man. But let me get back to my story. Alcohol is a liquid drug. It make you do things that you don't even want to do. And I'm gonna find a scripture for it. And I got to fast forward on my what I'm talking about because I got off. I normally don't talk about my second relationship, the one I was in a relationship for 6 years. I never talk about our relationship because I actually put a real blockage on that relationship. That was a real horrible relationship of the warfare I went through with that dude. And I don't bring him up much, but it's very urgent that I bring him up tonight. I have to stand up, but I got to turn this air off because I get cold real quick. So I'm gonna tell you how cruel, and I don't know if y'all can relate to it or not, but I'm gonna tell you how cruel toxic people can really be. They're funny, but they can be cruel when you don't understand them, they can be cruel. But when you understand the way evil move, they can be funny. So to me, they can be funny. So I start dealing with my second relationship in 2000 and I'm trying to rewind back 2002. I start dealing with my second relationship because I got out of my first marriage 2001. I started dealing with him in 2002. And when I first met him, he seemed nice, he seemed cool, he seemed, like any normal person. When you first meet them, they got their first impression. I call it their first impression. Their first impression is the worst impression because it's something behind that first impression, behind that person. But me, I study people. I let them in and I listen to their words. I always been this way. This is nothing new. I always have been that way. Listen to your words. Be consistent on how you move. Be consistent to see. I'm consistent on observing you to see if your words match your actions. So we start kicking it. You know, it was a little bad situation. It was a lot of bad blood in the beginning. But as I start knowing him and I moved to Dillon, that's how I got to Dillon, South Carolina first, because I was in Marion, South Carolina, and I moved to Dillon, South Carolina with my second relationship. And we got a house and me and my kids, we moved there into this house. We first moved into this house in South Carolina. Rent is cheap, dirt cheap. At that present time, we wasn't paying, I think, like $200 for a two-bedroom. But their houses is more woody, and they lived a little old timey back then. I think they cleaned it up a little bit, but we lived on this particular street, and we lived like 5 minutes away from where we worked. I worked in a sewing factory, and in the sewing factory, you learn how to sew quilts, you make pillows. And I was a quilter, I was a machine operator. That's when we take and clamp the quilt down. Y'all comforters that y'all buy out of Walmart, Target. I work for those type of companies. So you clamp the machine, you clamp. Hey, sunshine, how you doing, sweetheart? Love in the air, love in the air. I love y'all hearts. Believe me, give me much hearts as possible. I love hearts. And you clamp the comforter down and it make the pattern. So if y'all ever get y'all comforters and you put on your bed, if you look at the style, it was channel, it was so many different styles. But I was real fast at my job, so I could do like over 300 comforters a night, pack them up or whatever, whatever. So mind you, me and him worked in this company together. He was a forklift driver where he would stock the deliveries in the back of the warehouse. I was a quilter machine operator. Then I started being a trainer. So me and him worked together, things was going good, the dude had a little, he started doing stuff. So I noticed he loved to stay up, or we love to get third shift jobs. He never liked to sleep at night. So I was like, something is wrong. Why this dude don't sleep at night? So I was always on third shift jobs because, my kids, and I wanted to make sure they was in school or whatever. So at night, the daycare was good. Well, here, the nighttime daycare, they took care of the kids very well. So one particular night we switched. That's what it was. We switched the first shift. So now we home during the day and at night because my kids was getting a little older. So daycare would take them and put them on second shift because I was on second shift first. So check it. We start sleeping at night. Now, mind you, demons love sex. Don't get it twisted. Now, demons love intercourse. I know Satan, I mean, every toxic person is lustful, period. You will give it up like that because demons are lustful. Demons love to have sex and they don't care who they have sex with. That's why when you got that toxic person in your life and they always cheating, is because they don't have no self-control over their soul. It's Satan moving them around, having sex all over the place, just doing whatever. They don't have no control over their soul when they're still toxic. They in their toxic version of themselves. And one particular night, it just came out of the blue. He was asleep. We fell asleep because I don't have no problems going to sleep. Just a normal person. I love to sleep. Somehow I went over. This is the stuff I put up with. And I stopped. I was like, oh, this dude is crazy. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to give you his name or whatever. I went over to feel for him in the bed because I like to cuddle when I'm asleep. I went to feel for him and I felt the bed and it was a big water puddle. Now, mind you, we're 28, get ready to hit 30. And I'm like, dude peed in the bed. Dude was peeing in the bed. So I say, he peed in the bed. He's almost 30 years old. So I was like, oh, he peed in the bed. So now I'm feeling some type of way. So I get up and he's not in the bed. So he leaves the pee in the bed on his side. And I'm going here in the kitchen crying. And I'm like, bro, you done peed in the bed. You got a problem? You got a bladder problem? You might need to go to the doctor. So he was like, I got a sickness. And I was like, what's your sickness? He was like, he had diabetes. I said, I know a lot of people with diabetes. And they ain't peeing in the bed. Bro, it's something wrong. But see, I didn't know that, a lot of people that is traumatized that they pee. But this man was almost 30 years old. So I'm like, why is you still peeing in the bed? You can't get some help for that. You don't need no depends. So they don't tell you their sicknesses right away. If he would have said, I have a bladder problem, we would have got on that thing ASAP. So he was going without his insulin. He was going without, because I didn't know he had diabetes and he wasn't taking his insulin. He wasn't going to the doctor. He was just letting that sugar, them that they don't have insulin in their body. Their pancreas is gone bad. And he was just not taking his medicine. And he was stage a type 2 where he had to take needles in his stomach. And he was acting like he was normal, like he didn't have no sicknesses. So I was like, bro, you playing around with this disease. So I start researching it. And I didn't know that disease was so severe. You can lose your limbs, you can lose your legs, you can lose your fingers. You can accumulate gangrene if you hit your toes wrong. And I was like, bro, you ain't doing none of this. You acting like you normal. So he was depressed because he never fixed his childhood. And he was like, I had a rough childhood. We grew up rough. We grew up with no lights. We grew up with no water. We grew up with nothing. We stayed in homes and we didn't have food. And I was like, well, bro, you still affected by that? That ain't got nothing to do with why you peeing in the bed, my man. What is going on? So he fixed it where he was, he was embarrassed, but he was cruel. So he would get mad and he had a real nasty mouth. I was like, you cruel to who? You think you gonna run your mouth to me and you peeing in the bed at 30 years old? So I would injure him. I guess I injured him, but he was trying to injure me. He didn't know that I can fight back. So we stayed together for a while and I was like, I don't want to be with him no more. I can't do this dude right here. And he was trying his best to stop me from going anywhere. He will call his mother and tell his mother I won't have sex with him. I don't want to touch him. I don't know what's wrong with her. And his mother will be on his side. So I told his mother, you don't have anything to do with this. I don't know what happened to this child in his childhood, but this stuff is still affecting him. And she was treating him like a little kid. And that's another thing with narcissistic parents. They manipulate their kids to be, little children still. She knew she wasn't doing right by her children. She blamed it on the father, but they took it out on. That's why I said when they had mommy issues, they are not conditioned to target mother, not meaning target her like but they are programmed not to tell their parents how they truly feel. That's why they get mates, people that don't know about their history, and they'll target the one that they bring in the home, that to their family. Like I said, they sleepwalkers. They bring people in to feed the family, because a lot of people, a lot of women and men that have in-laws and stuff, they don't like to tell them how they feel. It's like they ignore the things they say to them, or they ignore the things that they do to them. I'm not one of them. I'm one that fight back real bad. So after I told him I didn't want him no more and I didn't want to be with him no more, this what dude did. Dude got mad. Mother, you can come back to my house. You don't have to be over there. Dude went back home, told all kinds of lies on me, all kinds of things. Like I said, the smear campaign been going long for me, which I don't care what people feel about me or what people think about me, because I know who I am. I always been that way. So he go back home to mama. So mind you, we moved together, but he put bills in his name. He cut the lights off, he cut the water off, he cut the sewer off. So when I come home with the kids, everything is click, 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 click. And I'm like, wait a minute, we paid bills. So they was like, you have to switch it over in your name because such and such. They say disconnect all of this stuff. So mind you, I had children. All three of my kids was with me at that current time. So I'm like, oh, this dude, that shady, he cut off the lights in the sewer and the water, and I have to transfer it over in my name. And I was like, wow, homeboy, he really raw with it. Mind you, now he come back to work looking at me. I'm looking at him. I'm on fire now. I was destructive then. I was a very angry person when you show me that Judas spirit. Because see, a lot of people that's toxic, they got that Judas spirit. They betray you real bad. They make you look like the villain and they play the victim. I learned this a long time ago, but I didn't have the names for it. I just knew how to move around these people. So he would ride past the house just to see if I'm a power up. In 2 weeks' time, I told my kids, I said, babies, we got to suffer a little bit. I went to Walmart and got them little punch-in lights that you can punch in on the wall and make it have light. I went and got some candles. I got the water back on. I said, y'all, we're gonna have to boil some water. Now, mind you, I'm 30 some years old at that time, and I had my three kids. I made sure, God always made sure, even though I didn't pray, I didn't know nothing about God, I didn't know nothing about talking to God. I'm just like, my head is pounding because I'm like, what am I to do? I got my kids. God made it possible every time those funnies, which I'm talking about, them toxic people that just brew inside that they don't want to get it out. So he kept riding past checking on me. I didn't understand what he was doing because I never paid nothing that anybody hurt me any mind. After you hurt me, you definitely ain't getting my attention. And see, with toxic people, they love attention. When they hurt you, your mission is to crawl back to them and beg them back in your life. After they hurt you, that's how they move. After I hurt you, you're supposed to beg me back in your life. I'm not that type of woman. When you show me you're cruel, that's when you got to exit out of my life. It's no more nothing with us. I can't do you because you're painful, and you can bring a lot of people down. And a lot of people don't understand toxic people is only painful because they deal with pain every day, because they don't know nothing about deliverance. They don't want to holler, Jesus, help me, because Satan hates Jesus, but Jesus loves Satan. You get what I'm saying? You're defeated, my man. Satan is defeated. The only reason why Satan can move the way he moved through humans, because nobody wants to defeat him. Everybody got pleasure, not everybody, but majority of narcs. You hear them, and I watches a lot of narcissistic people that's aware. They say we self-aware, but we still had the traits. Well, you still dummies, because y'all letting the dummy Satan use you to hurt other people. So you're still funnies. So I got my lights on. That one week I got lights on. I got the sword in my name, and I got the water back on. The water came back on first. I boiled some water, whatever. I worked that. He saw that everything was back on. You see him pulling up. I'm looking like, yeah, come on with it. Didn't know it was Satan. Didn't know it was evil. I just knew it was something ain't right. You moving this way. So we come back in. I want to be with you. I want us to be back together. In my head, I'm like, yes, it's my turn now. Oh, you finna feel what I got for you. That's why I tell anybody, if you do me dirty, don't take me back. I'm not the one to want. You don't want to take me back either. You know how the narc say, well, if you take us back, we're gonna do you the same way over and over. Not me, funny. Not to me. I'm gonna get you back, baby. I got plan too, my baby. You feel what I'm saying? So he come on back. We brought her home and everything together. Check it now. Brought her home. The home was paid for. Had land and everything. We did it. He thinking we on a grapevine. We on a grapevine. I'm busting grapes. I'm like, yeah, my man. I'm gonna get you back into me, but I got something for you. Honey, I had got me a dude, tall. His name was Jay. He start with a J. He was a bodybuilder. He had a bald head. I have a fetish for bald heads. It's just something about a man with a bald head. It's just like, yeah. But he had a bald head. He was built. He was a personal trainer. His skin was fine. His skin was marvelous. It was very attractive. It was, you feel me? Homeboy move funny too. I'm like, what is going on with these people? I'm dealing with him. He my little boo thing on the side. My second relationship, you know, pissy baby. And I call him pissy baby because he was 30 years old. Why'd you still peeing in the bed, my man? You got to get some depends. Put a pamper on it. You around here peeing on people, put a pamper on it. You are too old. So he didn't like the way I talk, so he couldn't take my mouth. He will get angry. I said, close your mouth. Go get a pamper. Put a pamper on your mouth and put a pamper on your bottom, because I'm not your mama. So I start dealing with my little side thing, my little boo thing. We're kicking it. And men don't like to be between two men. So my little boo thing start feeling me. My little boo thing got a job. Where I was at, my little boo thing was like, I'm gonna tell your husband. I married this dude. We only stayed married for 8 months. I cheated on him the whole 8 months. I married him for money purposes. I had to get my insurance money back because the house burnt down, and I didn't burn the house down. So old boy started dealing with me. So he would go on the trucks. He got a job on the trucks. He was like, I'm gonna drive trucks. I was like, okay, this is no lie, y'all. I would get there, take him to the bus station, and he was like, you're gonna miss me. I'm like, I'm gonna miss you. I promise I'm gonna miss you. Don't go, don't go. When that bus pulled off, I called my boo thing. I said, he on the bus, I'm coming over. So we start clubbing and everything. So he would call home. I'd be like, I'm on my cycle. I don't feel good tonight. I'll call you back later. I ain't feeling good. I was fully dressed, ready to hit the club. I start clubbing. I was 33. That's when I start clubbing. I started clubbing, me and homeboy. He liking me, he feeling me. We all going out every weekend or whatever, whatever. I say, he must think I'm into him. See, my 25% can feel like 100% because I know what toxic people like and I know the games they play. They move fast so you can ignore the red flags. I observe everything. I don't care if you hiding it or not. So I started doing some research on old boy. So I told my daughter, I said, something telling me something wrong with my little boo thing here. Now, mind you, I'm dealing with this guy for a whole year. I was like, but it's something ain't right. I mean, when I go to his house, he got little kid stuff. He got SpongeBob comforters. I was like, that's not normal for a man. And this man, he was 10 years older than me. I was 33 and he was 43. So he was 10 years older than me. So I was like, but he 43 and he got SpongeBob comforters. He got banana trees, like little set up for little kids. I was like, that's not, it don't seem right. Even though narcs use their kids like they so into their kids. They're not into their kids. They give their kids the business, believe it or not. So I'm looking like, he act like he love his kids. He act like they do all these activities together, but he actually had a lot of problems. So I was like, I need to talk to, or I would start asking the people that was living in dealing with me. I was like, y'all know anything about him? Y'all was talking about him. A lot of people won't tell it. They'll just watch things unfold. But me, I ask questions. I say, y'all know anything about him? So one of the girls, me and her was real close, and she say he messed up a little bit in his life. He was a good guy, but he messed up a lot. And I was like, what he messed up with? She was like, you don't know? I was like, y'all know I've been here only 10 years and I don't know too many people because I wasn't a woman affiliated with a lot of people in cities. So she was like, oh, you don't know? I was like, no, what's up? She was like, well, I'm gonna let him tell you. I was like, you ain't got to let him tell me. It's something. And I start thinking about them SpongeBob comforters and them candies and all that stuff. So I told my daughter, I said, can you go to the schoolhouse for mommy? She said, what you need? I said, check and see this name right here. I know y'all look at sex offenders and all that stuff. I said, pull this name up, see what comes up. She got home. She said, Mom, look, this man was a whole sex offender. I said, he had to go and recertify every year. And he will recertify on January. So he had on a black hood. Never said nothing about being a sex offender. Never said nothing about he had a record. That's why I didn't let men around my kids. See, I never let him around my kids. I just went and seen him and told my kids, they was of age. I'll be back. Lock the door. If you need me, call me, whatever, whatever. I never let him stay overnight or whatever. So I went to him. I said, bro, what is this? And I had the paper. I had the paper in my hand like this. I said, what is this? He was like, oh, um, we was gonna talk about it. I said, when? We've been dating for a whole year. And here you as a sex offender. I said, bro, you already know you chopped and screwed with me. You mess with young 10-year-old girls. He was a school teacher at the high school. I mean, the middle school. Sorry, he was a school teacher at the middle school, and he molested 2 10-year-old girls and didn't say nothing about it. I said, so bro, I got a daughter. I said, so how about I never researched you and checked you out? Then you would have got hold of my daughter. I said, then bro, you would have died. I said, what you doing? But I had a filthy mouth. My mouth was not as clean as it is now. So me, I start busting out his car windows because I felt a certain way. He didn't know my childhood. My childhood kicked in real quick. I started busting out windows. I started throwing Smirnoff bottles at his windows. So he flattened my tire. He flattened the tire on the car. That's why I say they love my cars. They love to take me down when it comes to my cars. So I said, I'm gonna get the man to come get the car tire on. He come back up at the house. I was an aggressive woman. I said, oh, you at my door? I opened that door and started busting his windows out again. He flew. He was like, oh, I'm going to get the police. I said, certainly go get the police. You are a sex offender. You don't even belong around children. I say, I got a problem with you, my man. So I cut him off. I did not mess with him anymore. He harassed me for a little bit, but eventually when I started putting the law in it, he backed off. I didn't deal with that man no more. I was like, now I got to be careful bringing men to me because I got children. That's why I'm very strict about women just bringing random men in their homes, because you got to do a background check on these men. I'm not saying all men, but it won't hurt to check to see if they got a sex offender record. It won't hurt to check. Now we got so much access. All you got to do is get the man full name and go on that sex offender list, and they'll pull all of it up. If they on there, they gonna be on there because they got to register as a sex offender under raping a woman and all that. Children, that's a problem for me. I can't stand no sex offender. Not when you just molesting little kids for no reason. This man was a grown big man and he wanted little girls. I said, somebody got you when you was a child. Found out a whole lot of other stuff. So I had to move on from that. I had a whole lot going on. I was like, y'all, we get ready to move again. So this is where I came into my ex. Not as bad. He was not as bad as the other two, but I was like, I'm not holding no punches, bro. And he came in the midst of me leaving the sex offender. Well, I didn't stay with him at all. Once I knew what was what, and I was thanking God then, he didn't get my daughter. He didn't get my sons. I was like, man, I'm blessed because I was blessed because if I never did research on him, he probably would have gotten one of my kids and I would have killed him. You feel me? I'm seriously, I would have took him off this earth. But getting down to it, narcs, they're not what they seem. They are broken, brutalized children with Satan on them. And as I moved to my second, I'm like, okay, here we go. I got my lights cut off on me before. I got cars taken before. I got flat tires many times. I got water out of, cut off. I got a lot of things done to me because I would not give in. I discard. When I discard, I discard. I don't discard. I don't call a discard. I discard you, then you come back to me. No, 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 no. When you discard, you give injuries. You don't let them come back in. He texts me, hey, I love you. I love you. Who? You think I'm a little girl? Do I need to dress up like a little girl? Do I need to put pigtails in my head? What you think I am? Do I look like a little girl to you? So as they say, when you text a heart, they think that you still want them. That's not true. Narcs are very delusional people. Y'all got to understand one thing about those people. They're very delusional. So if you just say hey to them, because my ex, I used to be like, what? When he called himself splitting up or called himself going out there in the streets to get his addictions, cheating, drugs, alcohol, whatever he had going on, he thought that he could come back in because I say hey to him. He thought that my haze was, I want you. I want to be back with you. Everybody hazing, I want you. Everybody don't want the narc back. Everybody don't just discard them and then let them come back in their life. I'm not that type of woman. I'm a fisher of men. See, I'm bait for the toxic person. I'll go out there and throw myself on the edge for them. Okay, what's you gonna be what to me? I'ma love you. This is where the future faking coming in. I'ma love you. We're gonna build together. I'ma always be there for you. You can always count on me. The little stories they make you feel like you so special and you so important. You 25% in. Never put yourself 100% in nothing, especially when it's brand new and it's a new relationship. You never put yourself 100% in. No, you make your 25% feel 100%, because you best to believe they're going to show you who they really are. If they are still unhealed, they're going to move unhealed. They lack a communication. They don't have empathy. Let me tell you, they only mirror empathy. They pretend to have empathy because they know the world is dying in hunger and have a big hunger for empathy. Who don't want love? Who don't want to be loved? Who don't want to be cherished? Who don't want to be safe or protected by their spouse or their mate or whatever you call it? Who don't want that? Everybody wants that, but you got to put in work to get that. You can't just, okay, I come in, a man, just say if a man come in my life right now and be like, I want you. I would take care of you. I would love you. I would cherish you. Yeah, you can tell me all that. That's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you were saying that. But you got to show me that. And a lot of people don't let the person show them. They just go with it. Okay, they love me. They say they there for me. They buy me furniture. They brought me a car. My ex brought me all that stuff. Cars. I mean, my ex, I got anything from him. He was very giving. He was. I promise you on that. He was very giving. He was a great provider. But he wasn't a great person. He had issues, and he let them issues sit within him. He didn't let them issues go. He just used those issues for when he was ready to go cheat, when he was ready to go do his addictions, when he was ready to just go hang out. He chose his friends over his home. He chose everything. So I said, you know what we got to do with this, my man? He thought, because we was 10 years in, I always tell anybody that even want to even deal with me, the beginning of the relationship is crucial, and the end of the relationship is crucial. The middle, you're still rocking the boat. You're trying to see what end they're gonna go on. Is you gonna put them back in the beginning and get rid of them, or is they gonna make it to the end and you're gonna be with them for the rest of your life on earth? You know, we're not here forever, but you're gonna live the rest of your life out. So I always got a middle, because you just can't let somebody in your life and just give your life over easily. That's not how it works. You're looking to get banged in the head with a sledgehammer, because narcs going to bang you down. They're going to beat you in the ground because they can't control the stronghold that they're in. That stronghold that they're in, Satan have control over their souls. So they're only going by what that dark spirit that they have to feed, or those dark spirits. And those dark spirits make you lust, make you lie, make you project, make you play the victim. You always whining, you always crying, you always hungry for money, you always lying your way out of things. It makes you do all kinds of things until Heavenly Father pulled the wool off your face, and now you're exposed. Now you got to find a way to get it right, and they're going hermit mode. When you give a narc an injury, they go in silence. They go in hermit mode. You won't see them for a while, because now they're trying to figure out a way to come back. They're trying to pick their face up, but they're trying to find a way to pick that face up. They're not um smart enough to repent, or they're not smart enough to take accountability, or they're not smart enough to really say, listen, Yeshua, I'm Jesus, I need help. They'll run to therapy, and therapists need Jesus. They are people. Therapy ain't nothing but a title that get by with, people that's in big facilities. Military people definitely need it, because they put, not all the military people go through hardship, but them foot soldiers, those Green Berets, it's stages to everything. It's just like jobs. Whatever you score, you can get that mail. They got mail people, they got truck drivers, they got plane. I mean, different branches for different things. It ain't like they're just going in hardcore on no job. They pick wherever they score. You get what I'm saying? Their score take them whatever position they need to be in. So therapy, definitely they're gonna need therapy. People go to prison, they got to have caseworkers. They got to talk to people, because those people is under a lot of strain. Those murdering spirits, those stealing spirits, those lying spirits, those violent spirits. These people pick up and manifest these spirits as they grow. And as they grow, how these unclean spirits grow is because you feed them. The enabler feeds these people's spirits. So when you enable them, now you are growing them to be more violent, more vulnerable, more verbally abusive, more physically abusive. Now they're using you. Now they can play trickery on you. Now they can manipulate your mind, because they know all you want is somebody to hold you, somebody to squeeze you, somebody to take care of your bills, somebody to be there as company, because that's all they is a dead company. They dead. It ain't no way y'all can say y'all have fun with these folks. These folks are evil. They do not have nothing pleasant to say, and they have nothing pleasant to do. And if they do something pleasant, you in their minds, you owe them. You are their property. You do what they say. You're submitting to evil, but you can't submit to light. You can't go on your knees and ask Yeshua to help me get away from this toxic person. Y'all will go get with God for a little bit. And soon as that toxic person come back in, no more church. No more reading the Bible. They done talked you out of church. They done talked you out of Christ. They done talked you out of God. They done talked you back into isolation. They done talked y'all off of social media. They done talked you from being around your friends. They done talked you from being around your family members. They done talked you from everybody. Now you're back in isolation, back into a dungeon again. Now they laughing. They gonna stay around you for a week or two, or maybe 3 weeks, maybe throw a good money in there on you. Now you back in love again, which you're back under another stronghold. You're back in lust again because you're only bowing because you fearing to lose something that's already lost. These people are already lost. I hate to say that. You get what I'm saying? Can they change? Yes, they can, but they got to put in work to do it. Do they still deal with whatever they go through? I deal with a little things that I go through. I rewind my mind sometimes and be like, man, they did me a lot of dirty. But I have to look at God and be like, Heavenly Father, if it wasn't for you, I have no support. My whole life, I had no support team. Nobody supported me through none of my bad. Nobody supported me through none of my depressions. Nobody supported me through nothing. They only stood back and watched and ran their mouth all the time or called me up. What's going on? And when you're vulnerable, you want somebody to talk to, and you think you should be able to talk to your family, or you think you should be able to talk to people that you thought loved at you they called family. And I always try to reconnect with my family, but my family was the same way everybody else was. And I'm like, stuff is not adding up. But trying to connect with your mother, what daughter don't want to connect with her mother? What daughter don't desire to be around their parents, or what son don't want to connect with their father, which I had neither. My mom was in my life, but not in my life like a mother. She was in my life on a toxic. No, my father, he just wasn't there. He died when I was 14, and they was like, you want to go to your father's funeral? I don't know the man. What am I going to go to the funeral for? What am I going to say? Hello? Hello, what's your name? Do you remember me? What I look like doing it? He can't talk. Where this man been my whole life? And when I was in the girls' home, he died. He passed away. I was 14, and they had put me away in the girls' home because they said I was a runaway. I was, because the house that I was living in was horrible. So I would jump from the second floor every other week. They'd bring me back. The police would bring me back. I'd be like, I'll put my clothes in the trash bag, chunk them out the second floor bathroom window, and jump out of it and keep on moving. I always left situations at a very young age. I lived in the woods. I promise you, I lived on the streets, in woods, tents, whatever. See, I'm not afraid to lose nothing. I'm afraid to lose my soul, but I'm not afraid to lose anything, especially when it comes to somebody that's brutal, that's toxic, sexually abusive, mentally abusive, spiritually abusive, financially abusive. I'm not with those games. Those are games that I just don't play. I don't care if I lose everybody. I'm still standing. You get what I'm saying? So, I went through all that, and the therapist was sitting there just staring at me. Is you mad? I'm looking at her like, mad about what? How you feel that your father died? I don't have no feelings. What I'm supposed to say to you? You're not gonna cry. Cry for what, lady? The man ain't never been in my life. I never knew the man. What am I crying for? It ain't nothing to cry about. What you want from me? So she said, okay. So I got out there, and in the girls' home, I was in Baltimore, Maryland. I did a lot of fighting, so I fought a lot. They threw me right in the padded room. They said I was crazy. I was crazy for protecting myself. I was crazy. I'm sitting in the padded room, just sit there with them little pillows on the wall. And I'm like, these people have lost their mind, but they think I'm crazy because a lot of people is hooked to the system. The system wants to be grandiose. They want to feel superior. They want to have power over us. Satan is in all of these marketing places, these advertisement, therapy. I'm a therapist. You're not a therapist. You're a soul that need help too. And I talk to therapists all the time. People just come up to me. I listen to all the therapists. I'm tired of listening to this. Them therapists is tired too. Because listening to all that, they got their own homes. They're dealing with their own things. Now everything is in the forefront. Everybody can't hide behind these titles no more. Everybody can't hide behind this money. Now, guess what? Everything coming out because this new generation is showing what is really going on. That's why back in our day, parents could make us shut up. Or whatever house you lived in, you got to shut up. Don't tell what goes on in this house. You'll get slapped in your face. Then the neighbor beat you. Then all they didn't do that to me because I fought back. You ain't got no business hitting on me. I've been hit on enough. I've been abused enough. I never went through that stuff. That's why they could never understand me. But I didn't understand me either because I was like, why is everybody at me? But I'm out here being honest. Now I understand because now I have the ability to see people real bad right now. My discernment is very sharp. So when you come in my life, I'm automatically see who you are because the Holy Spirit won't leave us ignorant. We are the elect. Kings desire to have what we have. A lot of people in the upper room desire to have what we have because they can't see what we see. We are spiritually open. We're spiritually, in tune. A lot of people in the world are not. People wonder why I can't be this way, why I can't break free. You can break free. You got to work on you. You got to work on that discord. That narc ain't nothing important. That narc is a comedy show. They're comics. They are really comedians. They do the most stuff. And then they'll try to act like you chasing them, but they got to do something toxic to make you chase them. You're not chasing them because you love them. You chasing them because they done put you in a low life position and now they done did something shocking and they made you angry and they done made you come out your character. So now you chasing them because you got a whole lot to say. You chasing them because now you need closure. You chasing them because you want answers. No, 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 no. We don't chase evil. That's why when they get finished doing what they doing or going to whoever they want to go to and lay up and addictions or whatever they got to go, they love prostitutes, they love all that stuff. I wanted me a prostitute when I was over in evil. I wanted me a male prostitute, but I was like, man, that's risky. I don't know how many do that got male prostitutes. So I started going watching male strippers. They prostitutes, right? I was going watching male strippers. I was like, okay, this is what they're doing. Dancing excites me. I just love dancing, not stripping myself. I never stripped, but I just love the art of dancing. So I was like, okay, this is how they get people in. So, I was like, yeah, I had a fetish for it. And I was like, I love men. I love to see a man dance. I love to see a man move. That's when I was in darkness. Now I'm like, if I get my husband, I hope he know how to move. You feel what I'm saying? He got to excite me. I don't like bored. I can't be bored. I like excitement. And when we're married, of course, I'm going to give him excitement because we're married. But you just don't give any random man no excitement. You just don't give no random woman excitement. People couldn't understand why I wouldn't lay down. I was a big flirt. That rocked my boat by itself. But laying down with everybody that liked me, I'd be wore out. I would be done, over, ended. But see, when you get with the narc, they're gonna make you think that you are crazy and they got their mind right. They ain't got their mind right. That's why they want you to chase them because they are insecure inside. They don't know themselves. They're empty. They're toxic. They're full of poison, venomous. They is not ones you want to chase. Oh, I got to chase them. I will block them. Block. See ya. I'll holler at you. And when you see them, you don't break down. When they start leaving you, every day should be critical for them to return. A whole week should be critical. Now, me, I can go silent treatment because I love silence. I don't go silent treatment because I'm upset with anybody. I love my meditation. I'm just one. I don't like I said, I have to learn how to talk to y'all. But once I gear up, I can go. But when I finish, get off this video and whatever, this computer, I shut down because I love my me time. That's why I said if I whenever I get that right husband or that right one, It ain't gonna be all this all day long. What's up? We got other things to do. We got to help people. I want somebody that love humanity, that is willing to help a soul, willing to let souls know how it is over there. Because I've been in the toxic world. I'm listen. Some days I ask God, why did you choose me? 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 But he knew why he chose me. I had to go through all the darkness to get here. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter. We have to forgive. And I don't mind forgiving because I have a forgiving heart. I have a pure heart. So I don't mind forgiving. If you hurt me, I'll forgive you. But one thing we ain't gonna do, we ain't gonna mend back together. Now that's my choice. When you forgive somebody, you don't have to bring them back in your space. I forgive you, but I'd rather for you to stay your distance and I'm gonna stay mine. It's your choice to let people back in, but you do not never let the abuser back in to continuously abuse you, especially when you don't know how to fight back, especially when you don't know how to stand up for yourself. You don't never let nobody back in your life. Now, if you let them back in your life, that's on you now. You can't be out here crying and weeping and mourning and playing victim because you know what you're going through. So you're going to continuously let that person come back through and then get a whole lot of people involved. And then you end up going back to the person. Now you don't waste people's time just like that person wasting your time. So we have to power up. And I'm going to say we because I got to be a part of you all because this is my calling. This is my purpose. I was chose to help women and men, not men, because men should be getting on their grind. They need to go get another man to help them. But a lot of men, problem is their pride. Pride is killing all of y'all. And women got pride too. Don't get it twisted. Pride is killing all of y'all because why? I don't want to listen to you. I don't have to listen to you. You don't tell me what to do. I don't. And you don't have to listen to me. I'm not forcing you to listen to me. You got to get your soul right. You know what's going on in you. But I'm just throwing things out here to let y'all know they can be real cruel. But if you ain't got heart and you got a lot of fear in you, that's why a lot of women are down. That's why a lot of children is in the ground because these people kill their kids. They kill kids. They flip out. You don't know if they're on addiction. They get so hard verbally on a lot of women and shut you up. They'll talk to you rude. They rude. They cruel. They'll call you all kinds of names, but they ain't got no names because you won't stand up and call them back because you're scared they might hit you. You're going to give me what you got because I'm going to call you what you deserve to be called. Ain't no man never came in my life and start talking reckless and I ain't talk reckless back. Oh no, we going to both be reckless in here. So when they pull out these rabbits out their hat, shoot them. Shoot the rabbits. And what I mean by not literally get no gun and kick, 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 kick. No, shoot them rabbits back in the hat. Tell them ain't no magic tricks over here. Tricks are for kids. You got to stand up. Y'all got to stand up. Stop going to therapy crying. Get on your knees in that bedroom and start praying to Yeshua so he can take that narc out of your life. I don't care if you got kids by him or not. I had kids by my kid's father. I didn't stay with him. I didn't care if we had the codependent or not. I'm not codependent on nothing until you understand what's going on. Y'all want to be in that relationship because y'all wide open vulnerable. We got to cut the vulnerability. Pack vulnerability up. It's time to stand up. Put some legs on your heart. Put some feet on your heart. Stand up. Facts over feelings. You're going to have to cut your feelings out and get some guts and stand up to these people. And men, if these women bring you down, you need to get in your masculine energy and get being a man instead of sitting around here letting women punk you. Period. I gotta go. Been on here 118. Yeah. Y'all have a good night, okay? And if you got the kids, give them some. Mwah. See ya.